Thanks for staying with us. So in the last 2 days, Senate President, in fact, the plenary have been screening, the National Assembly have been screening, the senators have been screening the nominees for the ministerial positions by the president. We've discussed our thoughts on the initial one that happened on Monday. Yesterday, we had many more that came for the screening, and we're expecting the final list today to be submitted to the Senate. But Nigerians have complained, especially about the fact that many of these nominees were not properly grilled. The newcomers were grilled, were asked questions, but those who have recently served in the National Assembly or even former governors were hardly screened, were just asked to bow and go. Many have said that this is completely unacceptable, that regardless of where you are, who you are, you should be adequately questioned and to ensure that you can actually serve. But others have said that because they have their data in the system, they know who they are, they know their antecedents, why should they be grilled? What are your thoughts on this? You can call us on 081 076 41679 090 24163 You can also tweet to us at TVC Connect. Please hashtag YourViewTVC so we can read your tweets. Remember when former Governor Wike was being asked questions and, you know, he was going on about it. The first thing, tell them to tell us about yourself, what you did and everything. And he was saying that, you know, the president would not regret me being nominated. But after he finished, they didn't really ask him questions because they just said, he's a former governor and we already know what he's done, he can go. But people felt that he should have been asked more, they should have grilled further. I know that the Senate President himself, Akpabio, tried to, to initiate questions, but others just felt that there was no need. I think that his deputy, who took over at some point, kept saying, since you've been in the Senate, we already know you, don't say anything. Are you sure you want to say? Well, they didn't give him options. Are you sure you want to say anything? Don't say anything. Just bow and go. Just bow and go. You know? What are your thoughts on this, Tokwe?
So, you see, the job of this screening it's too heavy and it's too important for the way I saw them handle it, particularly with some people. And El-Rufai was a former governor, but he still answered crucial questions. So there's a preferential treatment. Some people are told to bow and go, and other people are being excessively grilled. If you want to be fair, and which is what you're supposed to do as a legislator, you are meant to be fair, check and balance, create laws, and ensure that the executives who you are screening now, you are able to handle it when they get into power and they do things you are uncomfortable with. So any question you want to ask beforehand, you're supposed to ask it at that point in time. I felt that I'm not impressed with the bow and go. I'm not impressed with the levity with which they dealt with some people within the screening. In order of priority, we have a crisis as a nation. The president just spoke and was telling us how he's empathizing with us. So everybody is on the edge. This is not the time for you to be smiling and be saying somebody should bow and go because you were in the assembly together. Your assembling together did not make my country better. It did not make my condition better. I'm still buying food expensive. People are starving. So there is no bow and go in this situation. We're trying to do a renewed hope administration. This is a new system. And the president is planning, and we're hoping that he's able to fulfill it to change a lot of things on ground. So if you're bringing in old people to a system you want to change, then give them the opportunity to talk about the change they are hoping to achieve, not just bow and go.
Yeah, for me too, I don't agree with this bow and go. In fact, for me, I feel that especially for those who have been there before or in one capacity or the other, they have even more to answer than those who are just coming in fresh. Yeah. Because these are people that will come with fresh ideas. But if you've been there, I feel like I can ask you all the things that you did wrong and why you did that, and the things that you're doing better. It just seems very chummy like my friends and I. And if that's the case, maybe the Senate should not be the one screening people. Maybe we should have another a group of other Nigerian citizens that can come together and will grill everyone as they need to be. Let's have a list of what these questions are meant to be. We're asking everyone, we remember that there's no particular office for anybody right now. So it's not like we're saying, okay, we are looking, it's a specialized question for this person, so this one gets more questions than the other. You have said it's better to have them all at once and then ask them general questions. Then ask everyone the same kind of questions. And where you need to go further, you should go further. It does not look good for the Senate. I don't know why they feel like this chumminess.
Yeah.
I mean, do they watch themselves on TV? Do they watch it and think, oh, no, maybe I didn't do right, so I should do it better the next time? It just doesn't look right. Then if I, after all this, when you've asked the questions, there's this issue that came up with the petition that was raised against El-Rufai. And the Senate President was saying that these petitions were raised by others. So is there going to be like a petition sitting as well? And Nigerians going to be part of, you know, are we going to be able to view that? Are we going to witness it? Are we going to see it? Are we going to be able to also give our opinion on the petitions? It just seems like, you know, friends are here. Hey, we are back. Oh, school has resumed. Hey, welcome back. Yeah, 2023. I don't like that vibe. That's what I'm getting.
So do you think they gave it the seriousness it deserved? Let me come to you, Dama.
Well, for me, I am particularly concerned about the criteria that were used to nominate these ministers in the first instance, because we have the case of Senator Abubakar Sani Danladi from Taraba, who was alleged to have been banned by the Supreme Court from holding public office for 10 years. So before he was nominated, didn't you check if he had the capacity to actually hold that office? You also have the case of the man from Sokoto, Bello Mohammed, whose case had to do with his secondary school leaving certificate, you know, where one of the senators asked him about his O-levels, where he had just two passes and the other ones.
Yeah.
And then he said that he just submitted that, but he has other results that he's bringing to add to the credentials. And the Senate President had to ask him, so are you saying you're withholding some credentials from us? Why didn't you just bring everything together? You're choosing the one that we should see, or what was the matter? And then he was trying to justify his case that as a public office holder, all you need is a school certificate to even contest an election. And I like the fact that they told him off and said, you're not contesting an election. You are coming here to become a minister. So we need all your competence, all your credentials to be on the table for us to be able to approve you to hold this place.
So your issue is with, especially those three. I think it was Usef, Danladi, and this gentleman you spoke about. These are the three that had issues, and that the Senate said they're going to go back and look at it again.
Review.
So it goes back to why were they nominated in the first place, which is a good question. But even while I think it was Stella Okatete, there was a lot of laughing and giggling in the background. I don't know if you saw the video.
Serious.
You know, she was there. Look at the woman there presenting her credential, what she has done.
As a woman.
She was speaking, and you just saying that
Like they were not paying attention.
I'm like, you're not listening to what this woman. You know, it's like the seriousness of screening.
situation.
Maybe what Mariam said is what we should do.
They don't watch.
Get independent, eminent Nigerians to screen these ministers.
Or join
and then when we now finish screening, you can now go to you to go and do your bow and go. You can then maybe that's what we should consider. Maybe have an eminent Nigerians can get about 12 or 20 of them, sit down in a room, get them like you do the dungeon thing, sit down.
Yeah.
Why do you think you can be? Because you see, as you said, if we want a renewed hope, you got to do things differently.
Yeah.
So one of the senators, let me get his name out, the Senator Yari, he mentioned the fact that there's a tradition of bow and go. It's a tradition.
Doesn't make it right.
They've always done it. Well, what you have always done has gotten Nigeria to where it is. What we have always done is why dollar is being sold for 800 and something naira. What we have always done is why 95% of our earning is used to service debt. What we have always done is obviously not working. So why would we continue doing what we have always done? I would love a case where the president, and you know, I'm really impressed after the president's speech that I can be, you know, for now, let's see how it goes. Ask the president to write to the assembly that they should take the screening a bit more seriously and ask everybody that has said, you've said bow and go, to come back and answer specific questions. Because not only is this thing serving to inform the senators, it is serving to inform Nigerians. We are in a place where many people are suffering. I want to watch TV and feel inspired that the incoming minister will know what he's doing, not just say bow and go. So because I'm awaiting that inspiration, I'm watching the screening and I see somebody go, somebody go, another person go, there's somebody is being grilled. It's a platform. What we would have done for some of these people that were allowed to go because they are former senators would have been to say that, please, give them the opportunity to sell themselves, ask them questions so that when they get any position, nobody will be in doubt of what they can do. If you give former Governor El Rufai power now, everybody will be waiting that he has already said what he's going to do. If you give Wale Edo, the finance minister, people already heard him. So there's an expectation that he's competent. But other people that you told to bow and go, how do we know what they can do? Because being a senator does not mean that you'll be able to deliver in some other areas.
Let's go on a break. When we come back, we take a few comments on our social media and phone calls. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.